And I think like, so this is one of those things when I said we don't teach people about life, right? Like we don't train you guys in this. Like we've stopped doing this. But people have actually sort of figured out where happiness comes from and how to be joyous. Like, because they're, so when Kruthi said it's about finding joy. And then, of course, Twitch chat being Twitch chat was like, yeah, it would be nice if I had joy. Yeah, I agree. So, like, go and find it. And then people like, how do I do that? And here's the answer in summary, okay? Here's the like 3 minute summary of how you find happiness in life because it's not actually that complicated. So, first thing to understand is that like expectation and attachment lead to disappointment, right? So, let's just use the example of a movie or a game that everyone says, oh man, this game is the best thing in the universe. Movie's awesome. You have really high expectations. The higher your expectations are, the more likely you are to be disappointed. Whereas if you've never heard anything about the movie and you go in and you watch it, your joy actually increases. Even though the movie is exactly the same in either case, it's your expectation of your enjoyment that actually affects your experience. So that's like a general principle. And we kind of know that because like the more invested you are in something, the more likely you are to be hurt by it, right? If you're interested in someone as a romantic partner and you like obsess about them all the time in your mind and you become really, really invested in this like fantasy of a relationship, you're going to be hurt by that, whatever happens in that relationship. Even if the person says yes and you guys enter a relationship, they can't live up to the fantasy that you have in your mind. So that's going to lead to disappointment. Or you're going to get rejected by them and you're going to feel really hurt. So it's like this investment that you have in this emotional investment, what Buddha calls attachment, that leads to dukkha or suffering. So then the question is, okay, how do I not attach myself to things? How do I live life without attachments? And the really simple answer is that you don't live life for yourself, because it's really easy to get invested in you. It's like way harder to get invested in terms of an expectation in other people. And we see this in coaching, which is like when our coaches show up and they're like, I'm going to try to help this person. I'm just going to do my best. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. And the more that you do that, like the better you start to feel about yourself and like the more joy you find. Because when you listen to Zach and Nefer, like why does feeding their cat bring them joy? It's because it's a truly selfless act, right? Like Nefer's not going to get a performance review or a bonus or any, like she's just going to get, it's just her cat. And so her cat may show her some affection, and because it's a cat, it may not, right? Because that's what cats are. They're temperamental creatures that have trained us into supporting them. And so like the short answer is like the more if you want to find meaning in your life, stop living for yourself and start living for other people. I know it sounds really like a canned answer, but if you really look at the process of discovering joy and the process of being free of suffering, it's to live for other people. Because that's how you get ego out of the picture. And once ego's out of the picture, then it's fun. Personally, I think the meaning of life is experience. And it's just to experience things. I'm kind of in Zach's camp. That like the goal, like why did we, if you trust or are curious about the metaphysical systems of the karmic religions, they believe that the reason we incarnate in the first place is because of experience. The soul is desirous of experience. And so when Kruti asked me, do you think our life is together? It's like, hey, it's just an experience, right? It's like there are parts of it that are together, there are parts of it that aren't. And like, that's okay. Like you work on the ones that aren't. We'll see on Monday whether the bookshelf is put together or Wednesday or whatever we're streaming next. But if you want to build a meaningful life, like stop putting yourself first and start putting other people first, and you'll find that it brings a lot of joy and happiness, and it'll bring out the best parts of you.